Hello, calligraphy friends. Erin here from Nielsen Letters. I hope you're doing super well today. It's like incredibly sunny but kind of cold where I am. So sunny that I actually put up, like the lighting in here is going to be weird now, but at least like it won't be my face being white and then dark like it normally is. I actually put like a blanket over my windows in the front. It was so bright. I literally looked at it, I was like, I look like I match my wall paint behind me. So, it's fine. You're not here to see my face anyways. You're here to see me right, hopefully. I mean, that is kind of the point. Anyway, so today... hey Alaska, how's it going? I'm happy to see you. That you're here for a Monday. Appreciate you. But today, Paramore on the docket, of course. Today we're doing Emergency, the lyrics for that one. I'm going to be doing a fun technique today. I haven't done it in a long time, so it might completely mess up. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that it's good. Which is doing fading 3 different colors that will blend into each other and then blend back out. We'll see if it works. It's been a long time since I've done it, so... we'll be doing that. I picked some very stereotypical, like, I hate to say that Paramore is emo, but that kind of, it's like a very bright neon pink, some purple and black. I feel like it fits. Thank you. But, so I'll flip to the 3 cams, and then you can see I was mixing my colors, as you can see here. But yeah, hopefully it looks good. Hopefully. We'll keep our fingers crossed. If you're wondering, this is gouache. It's these guys. I have like a kit of a bunch of these guys. It's designer color. This one's neon pink. It's from the company Nicker, Nicker. It's good stuff. But yes, I enjoyed this dish. It's good. It's meant for paint. So, I'm happy. How have you been? Have you been playing your Lego? I have. If you've streamed, I'm sorry if I've missed it. I apologize. But have you restarted your streaming with your Legos or? Ooh, super old calligraphy stuff. What did you get? I need to know. The nibs that you got, are they pointed? Are they broad edge? Do you know? Oh no, you feel weird about starting up again? That's too bad. I'm just trying to mix, by the way, because the paint comes in like tubes. So the paint itself is, it comes out like not the correct, like thickness, I guess, for ink. But yeah, I'm curious what kind of equipment your mom gave you. Like, would she gift you? By the way, when I say broad edge, hold on, I'll give you an example of what a broad edge one looks like. Yeah. Do they look more like a broad, like a flat edge at the end of the nib, or is it more like pointy? Because these ones, generally speaking, are the ones that I use, because the type of calligraphy I do requires a pointed pen. But these guys are meant for like broad edge type scripts. Ooh, you got pointy. Fun. I've not heard of that brand before. Osmuroid. Cool. So if you have a pointy one, then the stuff that you were, or that I was doing with you when I was teaching, you'll be able to follow along if it's a pointy guy. Is it rusty? Because if it's not rusty, they're still good. Because I have vintage nibs that are really old. I have ones. Like, these are ones that say Bank of Montreal. Like, these are super old. These are probably at least 40 years old, at least. Because, like, I would say probably even more than that. Probably more? Maybe 60? Because, like, this is from the bank. I'm going to go ahead and assume that, like, it's been a long time since, like, banks used nibs like this to, like, write certificates. I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably really old. Oh, it's more of a... Yeah. Like a fountain pen versus like a dip pen, which is what I use. Cool. Very cool. So it's like those old clear... Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so if it's italic fine... So italic is a type of script that you can learn, which is not what I do. I've done some classes on it. I understand the theory, but I've not practiced at it at all. But let me... Let's see here. So like something like this. You can probably do something like this with your pen. There has to do when you have a nib. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Cool. Très cool. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I feel like calligraphy was real big with like our parents' age-ish. If you're like similarly aged to me, I'm turning 33, so. And like, yeah, so stuff, you can do a lot of stuff with a broad edge. It's just not what I specialize in, so. If you want to learn, I would, and you are good with learning from books. Yeah, okay, fair. If you're good with learning from books, there is this book from a very well-known, amazing calligrapher. Her name is Sheila Waters, and it's the book called Foundations of Calligraphy. So this book has like all kinds of different scripts that she goes through and explains how to do them, even applying design principles, how to complete a work, how to do like layout and design. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with broad edge stuff. You know, how to set up your desk and foundational hand, which is what she starts with. A lot of people start with doing italic first, but this kind of stuff. Anyways, if it's something that you're interested in doing and you want to use your broad edge, I would, and you're okay with learning on your own, a book like this is a fun reference book for you, for sure. So I'll just be here mixing ink. Yeah, I mean, learning many scripts and stuff is super good. I learned pointed pen stuff first. I don't want to say most. On Instagram, pointed pen calligraphy, where either it be copperplate, which is more what I go for, or one's called Spencerian, or Italian round hand, or all of those ones. On Instagram, it's what's popular, and what most, like, people who are kind of young will go to that one. But traditionally, most people who learn calligraphy pre-internet times would learn from a broad edge, and they would learn how to do Gothic and like italic and foundational and all that kind of thing, which I don't know. Like I said, I've taken a couple of classes with like italics, but that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. And I have a vague idea of how things are built, which is good for like building scripts and like kind of making your own stuff, which is kind of fun. But yeah, it's kind of technical, but if you like reading that stuff, it's kind of fun. All right, so let me get my little pen stand. I have one of these, so my desk doesn't get full of ink, so I can lean my brushes on it. There we go. So again, I haven't done the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that kind of ombre type of fade. I haven't done it in forever, so it might completely fuck up. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna discover if this is gonna work. So, what I did do before the stream is I did my penciling beforehand, and I just as a rough outline, just so I don't have to do it on stream. Not that I don't enjoy doing it on stream. It just takes longer, and the fun stuff is the colors. So we're gonna try. We're gonna attempt. What I do need though is a nib. I don't know which one I want to use. Generally speaking, I like the pointier ones that are more flexible. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this guy, which is Hunt 101. If I had a choice, I would go for an EF principle. If anyone like knows what that means. But I don't have any left. I have to go to the store and go get some, if they even have any left themselves. All right. Yeah. The one thing I can tell you, by the way, if you want to learn broad edge, it's actually good to learn it before doing pointed pen, specifically Roman caps, because a lot of the principles of pointed pen calligraphy come from how letters are built in that type of broad edge script. So kind of fun to learn, fun to know, but like I've said in previous streams, I am by no means a master penman at all. Like I have a little bit of knowledge about a lot of random stuff, and like I haven't taken the time to read. Yeah, very cool. Oh, I'm glad that you're trying something new. That's kind of fun. My lighting is going to be all over the place. I might have to take my thing down. It's going to be super weird because it wants to... How do I fix this? Because like I'm really dark, but this is really light. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to remove my... I'm just going to be the color of my wall. Give me 2 seconds. All right, let's see. Let's see if this balances out. That's all right. I'm at least a little bit more evened out, which is good. But like I said, like I just get so washed out on the one side of my face. This is what happens when I work in front of a window. Let's see, can I fix the lighting on this guy? All right, I think that'll do. So I think, what color will I start with? I think I'll start with black. And I'll zoom out so you can see how I'm doing it. Because it's a bit weird. Because I can't really, like, normally I would like dip the pen, but I can't do that because it's in like a flat disc or like a flat container, right? So the easiest way to do it is to take a paintbrush and then you load your ink that way. And I think it's the right, consistency. Listen, there's no such thing as getting a new hobby. It's kind of fun. Like I said, calligraphy is very calming. It's very cool. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, all right, good. I got the right consistency. Yeah. I mean, even that, like, I normally don't finish these things, like complete them on stream either. I'm gonna end up having a pile of just like lyrics and random things, and one of these days I'll get around to finishing them all, maybe, or I won't, and that's okay too. Sometimes it's just about enjoying it. Oh yeah, I really liked After Laughter. I've also listened to her solo one, which I thought was an interesting departure, and I liked it. I like where she was going with it. I like the fact that they're not afraid, and she's not afraid to try different stuff. Um, like it feels like mm, she's kind of grown up with her audience. Does that make sense? So, like, when I was a teen, or actually, when their first album came out, I was 17. Yeah, so I was a teenager, I think, 17, maybe 18. And it feels like that was the perfect time to be listening to this first album. And then After Laughter was, same thing. Like, it felt like the trajectory of like her and her fans kind of went along the same lines, which was interesting. I actually saw them do. I've gone to like 4 or 5 of their live shows, so I've gone to a lot of. I'm pretty sure I've seen them perform the After Laughter set. Like I went to one of their shows on their Montreal stop on that particular tour. It was really cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even me, I was just like, I think she's only a year older than me. And I was like, how are you like so cool? And I just hear her like, awkward teen and she's like running the world. It's kind of crazy. They're excellent live, I have to say. If you ever get a chance. Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool. The first time I saw them, they were my first concert I ever went to. And I'm really jealous that you got to go see Fall Out Boy live. That would have been sick. I never saw. They were my first concert, and it was off their first album, and the tickets were dirt freaking cheap. I think I paid with tax something like $30, $35, and they played a really tiny venue. I don't even know if it exists in Montreal anymore. It's called Club Soda, and it's a really small venue, and like they were not that well known, and I was like, I've heard. I actually found them. This website still exists from purevolume.com. It was when I was obsessed with trying to find new music, because like that's what you do when you're 17. Music is very integral, and like I find you're growing up. I ended up. I was looking for female singers that didn't annoy me. They happened to be on the front page of Pure Volume, and I was like, I listened. I was like, oh, I actually don't hate her voice. Like, interesting. It was her and Flyleaf that were like, they would alternate. And Flyleaf sometimes gets a little like too high pitched in my brain. And I heard her voice. I was like, damn, that's cool. And then the next summer they were touring and they came to Montreal and I was like, so I'm going. This is what's happening. And it was awesome. It was so cool. But yeah, Club Soda, it was very cool. Yeah, it was super, super fun. But I don't know if they exist anymore. I hope they do. It was really fun. It was just like a really tiny shit venue. You must go, yes. The energy, if you've ever watched their live stuff on YouTube, like, people take camera, like just off their camera phones. But there's a concert they did, the live show, I think it was in Chicago. They have that, it's live somewhere, and there's a couple, anyways, live shows, go YouTube them. They're fantastic, I have to say. That energy is there. She's crazy. She's like a little Spitfire. It's very fun. So yeah. Essentially, this welcome to my TED. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Go see Paramore. Oh God, yeah. Did you listen to her solo album that came out last year? How'd you feel about it? I had a lot of people loving it and a lot of people like going like, meh, it's not that great. There was a couple of songs that I liked. Yeah, it took me a few listens to appreciate it, I think. As you can tell, I'm not good at writing, just like standard writing with my pointed pen. Not the greatest at it. I'm like, it's not great, but it's fine. But yeah, I totally feel you with like, it took me, oh God, the one where the music video where she's in her house and then it's like, it's about her divorce from, what's his face, from Good Charlotte. I don't remember. Anyways, that video, that song took me a few listens before I was like, yeah, you know what, I like it. I like it. Like, I kind of wish that I could play their album while I did their lyrics. But I would be DMCA'd so freaking hard that I'm not going to. Just imagine. Love a Bot. Super fun. So, just know that in my head, I am fully just, yeah. Love a Bot. I am fully humming this in my head. I'll zoom in so you can see what my pen is doing. Oh, that is a solid song. I really like that one. For me, I'm trying to think. I have a few. I know them all. The last time when I went to one of their concerts, I was in Toronto, which is about a 7-hour drive. I went with two of my girlfriends, and we essentially, or was it just one? No, it was just my one girlfriend. And we went, and it was super fun. And we worked our way through their discography on our way there. It took about 7 hours, so it worked. I actually lined up perfectly. And I think from there, like, I really remember noting that All I Wanted was probably one of my faves. Yeah. Not of every band ever. It's totally cool. All I Wanted is one of my favorite songs from them, and I wish she did it live. It would be so cool. but I'm pretty sure that she would wreck her voice if she tried doing that one live. Pretty sure. But I love that one. I like part two. Part two is good. I like to pretend that I'm Haley when I'm in the shower. So I've tried singing that one, and I'm just like, I come out sounding like I'm a smoker. I'm glad I'm influencing you into listening to them. Oh, Girl in Red. No, I don't know. I'm always up for a good music rec, though. What type of music is it? Is there guitar? This is what I keep telling my husband of like, I'm just waiting for the times to start, swing back around. And so I can get guitar into music again. It's coming. MGK. MGK started it, which is it's super interesting. Oh, indie pop. All right. That's very cool. I will look that up after, actually. All right, never heard of them either. I will look them up. Honestly, I think I've turned into my parents, in which it's like I don't listen to what's popular now because I'm just like, my music was better. You don't know what music sounds like. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, Lights. Yeah. Lights. I know. I a bunch of my like she's toured a bunch in Canada, obviously, but Lights, yes. Oh God, I wanted to say Metro something. It's not Metro Station. Lights, I think, is from Ontario. I think. Cool. Or maybe is she from BC? I'm trying to remember where she's from. There's a band that's from Montreal that's very indie, and I don't know if they make any more music now. They did the album The Neighborhood, and I'm losing. I don't remember what their name is now. Uh, so in Canada, we have like radio play laws that depending, like it's either if you're a radio station in Canada, it's something like a certain amount of music must be Canadian artists. It can't just be from the States all the time. So because of that, we like any kind of Canadian music always gets played on the radio if it's like popular at the time. I just don't remember what the percentage is, or it has to be like out of so many hours of the day, like certain blocks of time need to be like allocated to Canadian artists. So you just need to talk to other Canadians. I'm sure there's a gajillion like Spotify Canadian music playlists, and like it's surprising that I'm just like, oh right, I forgot that they were from Canada. Arcade Fire, sorry, I just remembered. Arcade Fire is from Montreal. We'll happily take you. I get it. I get it. I remember listening to them and I didn't even realize they were from here. And I was just like, oh shit, locals, have fun. Yeah. Arcade Fire, like, I don't know if they make music anymore, but I used to be a huge fan. And I don't know if you go on TikTok at all, but there's all those, the sea shanties and stuff. And I'm like, there's a band called Great Big Sea that is huge in Canada, and they did sea shanties all, especially in the 90s and 2000s. They're from Newfoundland. I think they actually are having a resurgence because of TikTok, which I think is hilarious. Actually, I'm going to start making the color gradient. Now let's see if this works. So essentially what I'm doing to do the color gradient is that I'm not washing my nib off. I'm leaving it black, but then I'm adding the color up here. So slowly it should start to change. And especially because Great Big Sea is like, they're old. They're like in their late 50s, early 60s. Like, they're not young spring chickens anymore. But I think also because I'm in Canada, I get different TikTok content from a lot of other people because like they kind of go by like geographic location as well. It's on the same page. I just do it really lightly. It's mostly too, so when I'm streaming, I don't have to think as much about the words. I can just kind of focus on kind of chit-chatting and then like just doing the lettering. I don't have to think about it like, oh no, am I spelling this right? I did it on Vance literally only because I was like, oh, it's there's a lot of words in this song in particular. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be streaming for 5 hours if I don't do some of it in advance. So I'm like, oh, let me do a little work beforehand. So it is starting to switch slowly. I can see it here, but you can't really see it on the camera. It's a bit too dark, but it's starting to do the gradient, which is cool. It was funny actually. Yeah, it's like a dark purple for right now, and then once I add pink later, it'll start doing the gradient a little bit easier. It's just hard to see it when it's coming through the black. I wonder if it'll be easier to see, because I can see it. It's a little bit of a dark purple coming through. Yeah, it's an interesting technique that when I was learning, it was my teacher was just like, yeah, it's like a really fun thing you can do. I was like, mind blown. Like, what? On my Instagram a few years ago, I did a Fall Out Boy lyrics doing the same thing, the same technique. I was like, perfect. This will work for Paramore too, I think. You can hear my burb in the back. My husband has him in his office, and he sounds like he's having a bit of a conniption, which is always fun. I'm also writing kind of big too. It's interesting because I'm watching it on, I see it on my screen. I was like, oh, it looks enormous. It's not that big, and it's because I'm zoomed in. I think if it's zoomed in, it's a little bit nicer to watch too. I don't normally write question marks, so that one looks really weird because I don't do those ones normally, but that's okay. If Haley Williams stopped in while I was doing this, I would legitimately have a heart attack. I don't know what I would do. I would I would fangirl very hard. I would literally lose my brain. Yeah. I think you would probably see me die. Like, for sure. For real. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I think I'd probably have a heart attack. Like, just a raid from fucking Haley Williams. Just, like, raids my channel. Lose my mind. Do not even, please. Be like, there's this girl doing some, like, lyrics. Whatever. Like, come see. As I'm doing this, I'm reminded how much I love these gouache for calligraphy. I had forgotten how delightful they are because I don't normally work in color. The hairlines on this sucker are so nice. Excuse me, Haley, knock knock, can you come see this girl on Twitch? You would literally, I would die. I would literally die. Like, on the coroner's report, it'd be death by Paramore or something. It would be very funny. Oh, did you hear that she no longer does Misery Business, eh? On their live shows? I understand why, but it's still unfortunate because it's such a fun crowd pleaser. Yeah, they. Well, do you know why they don't do it anymore? Because I do, and I don't want to tell you something you already know. That one was better. Yeah, I think that was their big hit. It was that one and the one from Twilight, I think. Were the two big guys. It was because of the kind of misogynistic vibes of the song that were much more acceptable back in the day. And like in the climate of today, it's kind of like the lyrics of the song are questionable, so they don't do it live anymore. But they I think they sent it off pretty well. They did like a show and they were like, this is our last one, we all learn from our mistakes. This is our last time we're doing it. We love the song, but we're just not going to do it live anymore. Like, kind of, I think I vague recollection of that. Yeah. It was a fun crowd participation one because she always brought people up on stage to do the song with her at every concert, except for the first, because the first concert I saw her with, that song wasn't out yet. I went for, during this album run was when I saw them first time, but Yep, totally cool. Totally respect it. Which is kind of what I mean. Like it's rare that you find those bands that kind of grow up. Usually people try and do the same thing over and over and over again. It's kind of why I like Linkin Park. You know, rip to to oh my god, I just lost his name. Chester. Jeez. Oh yeah. Yeah, I just like you look at the girl on stage, you're just like, like I want to be you. But like Linkin Park too, like they had their heyday and then they kept experimenting and doing other stuff and really trying to push themselves. Like I totally respect that. I wish that cell phones were better when I went to go see them because I have very terribly grainy photos because like when I saw them I was probably 18, which is like 18 years ago. Yeah? No? Maybe? No, 12 years ago. I can't math. No. Anyways, more than a decade ago. The like technology was not there. It looked like I would take pictures with a potato. Like it was rough. Like rough. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, whatever. 32 minus 18, whatever, 14 years ago. Yeah, like cell phone pictures were not the way that they are now. So like the pictures I have are, they're not good. Coldplay live. Oh, I'm sure that was amazing. I'm sure that was amazing. I remember the first song I ever heard from them was the song Yellow. I didn't understand it then, and I don't understand it now, but it is fun to listen to. You put that on in a car with any of my friends now, you know, we're good. We will all sing along to it. It will be very fun. Coldplay, U2, Lady Gaga, Paramore, Fall Out Boy. Oh yeah. Deadmau 5, or Deadmau5, I know, but Deadmau 5, wow, dang. I am so jealous. What was I doing? I was watching something on YouTube where it was just like showing concerts that used to happen. I was like, I was never a huge concert goer, like you clearly were, my goodness. But I'm just like, man, the minute this is over, man, I just want to go get like jump around and get sweaty with random strangers and not have to wear a mask. It would be great. Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. Oh my. Are they still doing the concert? I know the vaccine rollout in the States has been like way better than Canada, so I'm sure you're probably already vaccinated. How lucky are you? But like I people in my age group, like because we're lower risk, I think it's going to be like July by the time we get it done. Hopefully it happen eventually. Yeah, I was supposed to go to Disney last September. That clearly did not happen. I'll get it in April. Nice. Very cool. Very, very cool. We are so behind here. Do we just because we have such a small population, so it's harder to like get people to be like, yeah, vaccines. Like, yeah, we'll get there when we get there, I guess. Oh, I thought you guys. I have been avoiding the news, to be honest. Like, I haven't watched a news program, and I don't even know how long. I couldn't anymore. So what I've been gathering, like from the bits and pieces that I just overhear and stuff, is that you guys were doing super well. You had so many vaccines. I had assumed that it was just like rolling out like nobody's business and everything was going fine. Yeah, fair enough. All right, I am going to start to get the pink in there. I can fix that later. There's a nice big blob there because I'm dumb. Because I can't spell pretend. Once that's dry, I can fix that though. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Because it's split like that here too, where it's like the provinces are in charge of, I think, the rollout from what I've gathered. I am playing with fire with this bright pink right next to my paper. I need a little more water though. Bit too thick. Yeah, I'm like, I'd like to get vaccinated sooner rather than later, just because like I had mentioned, like we were supposed to go to Disney last September, and technically our trip has been pushed until this September. But like, who knows if we can even travel to the States at that point and not have to quarantine for 2 weeks? Like, I have no idea. Clearly, you were built for this. My husband's the same way. He's like, I was built for COVID. Like, this is great. I don't have to go out, interact with people. I should be in my office all the time. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, he's like, COVID's my bitch. Like, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with staying home. I'm like, he's an introvert, right? So it's easier. Or for him, it's a bit easier, I guess. Yeah, I am naturally an extrovert, but honestly, like I have not like I count myself really lucky that I haven't. How do I put this? Like I haven't been suffering the way a lot of other people have. So I try not to complain. Oh, and now you're just like, listen, I'm just home. That's so cool. Like at least you're enjoying it. This is good. Like cuz I feel so bad for people who just have been having a really hard time with it. Like I really empathize with that. It really sucks. Yeah, exactly. Now you're just gonna be like, oh, yeah, the vaccine. I guess I'm vaccinated and I can hang out, but I just don't want to. It was actually a conversation I was having with a calligrapher that I know that's based in New York, and we were discussing in DMs like, you know, it's been hard because a big portion of our business is usually weddings, and it feels weird to post weddingy content when like people can't get married or like so much death or whatever. Oh yeah, the pink is fun, right? Um, so it's like it's a hard line to walk. It's trying to still run your business but still be empathetic to like the situations happening around the world. Um, but yes, so this pink is I think my favorite color, and I don't get to use it often in the color pack that I have from this brand because it says neon and she is neon. It is very bright, which is super fun. So I think I may have wanted to do the ombre stuff because I was like, I just want to use the pink. One of these days, I'm gonna get some of her hair dye, and I will try it on my hair, but only if my hairdresser is okay with it, because I don't wanna annoy her. She's great. Now I feel like there's a question incoming. Ah, very cool. I did not know that. Yeah, it is really cool that they know each other. That's really fun. I had no idea. That's so cool. Must be one of those like female rockers of a certain age must stick together. I feel like though they probably like I feel like so many celebrities must know each other. Just they probably all go to the same parties. Yeah, this pink is like my fave. I actually had Hayley Williams hair for a very short amount of time because when my hair was much longer, when it was down to here, I used to dye it red. Um, Sorry, I used to dye it. I used to go to the salon and get them to do it because I knew I was going to mess it up. And then a couple of times I did the roots red and then I did the ends blonde, like blonde. And I remember getting comments a couple times like, "You look like Hayley Williams." I was like, "Thank you. I don't look anything like her, but I appreciate it. It makes me feel very happy." It was really fun. It was very cool. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It killed my hair, but it was really fun. I had a good time with it for when there was a short amount. I think I had it only for a couple months, and then because it was so damaging on the ends of my hair, just bleaching the bottom. I'm like, I can't continue to do this. My hair is gonna hate me. I won't have hair for my wedding. Yeah, just cut it short. Just shave it off. But yeah, I feel like the celebrity, like little corner of the world, I really do feel like most people know each other. And my suspicion is that only other celebrities understand how fucked up their lives are, so they have no one else to talk to. Like, I don't know what it's like to be stalked by paparazzi. But you know who probably does know that? Lady Gaga. Like, or like Nicole Kidman. Like, anyways, it's just one of those things. I'm like, yeah, I feel like regardless of if they're a musician or whatever, if you're in LA, you probably know the other person. Yeah. It's also because I just watched that Britney Spears documentary that everyone was talking about a few weeks ago. I just watched it a few days ago. And I feel so bad for that woman. It was so good, though. It was so good. It was such a good documentary. So interesting. But it really hits home on that kind of like women were held to a very different standard in the 90s. Oh, yeah. I need to watch the Billie Eilish one, too. The Lady Gaga one, that one's really interesting. She talks about, she has a it's not a disease. I don't want to say it's a disease. It's like a muscular thing where she has pain in her nerves. It's crazy. The Billie Eilish one I haven't watched yet. What was another one that I watched I found was fascinating? That was like a musician one. I don't remember now. I watched so many. I'm a big documentary just binger. Pops on Netflix or it's on. I've been watching the Demi Lovato one as it's been coming out in regular YouTube. Talk about heartbreaking. Yeah, I don't know if she still suffers from it, Lady Gaga, but I know if the documentary that I watched about her had talked about it. The Demi one, it is ridiculous. I think it's on episode 3. I think the first 2 episodes are out now. The third one is coming, or the third one just came out and I haven't watched it yet. That one is like, the empathy I feel for that young girl is crazy. Like, so difficult, her life. Demi Lovato is my like lady crush. Yeah, absolutely. So difficult. And like the Demi Lovato stuff, like they go into her ODing. Like that's kind of what it's about. Because the from what I remember now, from what I had seen, it was before COVID and before her OD. There was a documentary film being filmed, and uh, they scrapped it because she ended up relapsing. So this one is kind of about how much she hid from people. And they go into like the crazy stuff that she was doing, and like she felt so everything was so structured and so regimented around her that she essentially just rebelled and went really hard, and it just completely backfired pretty much. And it's incredibly sad, and especially because she's a woman, and it's like the amount of pressure that like women feel in Hollywood. Like I am a nobody in Montreal, Quebec. Like I don't like, and even I feel like, oh, like I don't know, like the fact that I'm not wearing like makeup online, like for a live stream, like that's when I was younger, that was like like you know, I need to wear makeup to be outside and seen by the public. You know what I mean? Whereas now it's like, it might come with age though. Like I don't know, but I can't imagine having cameras on you all the time and having that kind of like, it just feels like really wrong. Did you watch the Paris Hilton documentary? That one was an eye-opener. That one was crazy. She is an incredible businesswoman. That one, amazing. It's I think it might be on YouTube, just like for free. It is incredibly raw. It's incredibly heartbreaking. Uh, I, I have a crazy amount of respect for that woman. So good. Add that one to your list. Do you have any other ones that you can recommend to me? Love a good celebrity doc. Oh, actually, not really a documentary. Did you watch the? I don't necessarily give two shits about the royals, but the Harry and Meghan interview with Oprah. That was crazy. That one was crazy. Like, I'll watch The Crown kind of thing, but I'm definitely not a like what are the people who are like, I don't, they're like those, they're like obsessed with like the monarchy. Like, especially in Canada, this happens, I feel like, a lot more because we technically are a Commonwealth, and like technically the Queen is still like the top of our government. Which is why she's on all of our money. Um, but so there's a lot of people there. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are obsessed with it. Not so much me. I think it's interesting, but I watched the interview and it was just like, I just like some good tea. I just want to see like, what's going on behind those closed doors. I feel like it's kind of like a celebrity kind of vibe. But that interview was rough. That was so rough. They were so open with Oprah. There was some crazy, like, because she's Meghan Markle is half black and half white. I think it's half half. So, like, there were people in the royal family who were worried about the color of her kid. Like, what? Like, who cares? Oh man. Like I said, I'm just like, give me the tea. Like, this seems interesting. It's kind of like watching the YouTube drama unfold between like different YouTubers, where you're like, I feel bad for you, but it's also like, but I want to know what's happening. Like, what? And I know they're people too, but like, when you're being a shitty person, I don't, I don't feel so bad about what's been happening. Yeah, it feels so like imperial, or I mean, it's just like leaves a little like a bad like taste in your mouth. It's like not fun. Like, it feels like really like harkening back in the times when they were like conquering other lands. It's totally gross. I am enjoying this little ombre effect I got going on. Yeah, totally like the Lannisters in Game of Thrones, for sure. All right, now I have the other. Oh, this is fun. All right, so I think I'm gonna go from pink to purple to black. So it'll be black, purple, pink, and then purple. Oh no, pink. I guess it'll continue to pink and then purple, then black. Yeah, so I'll do a few more lines in pink up here. Right? Doesn't it look fun? I am a big fan of how this is turning out. Nice. I'm glad my idea turned out. Always fun. Always fun when it doesn't flop completely. I kind of wish I had done the title like that, but that's all right. Next time I decide to do something like this, I'll do it like that. Cool. I'm gonna move this here. So I think I'll do, yeah, pink, and then purple, black, or should it be? No, I think I don't want black and black to be next to each other. So pink up here. Now I just have to be careful that I don't lean on the left part because it's still wet. One of these days I'm going to figure out a plan what I'm going to do with these once I'm done with them. Who knows? All right. Sorry, I was just struggling to read my writing. I was like, what did I write there? When it deserves, or when you deserve? When it deserves. Oh, actually, that's the thing that I have to remember to do. 1 second. I have to, because I have my lined paper underneath here to make my life a little easier. So I'm going to switch this over. Oh, the first, what one was it? I mentioned Demi Lovato. Oh, the Britney one, the Free Britney. Was it that one? I think it was the Free Britney one. Totally worth a watch. All right, let me get this lined up. No, it's fine. I get it. Don't worry about it. As I knock my camera. There we go. Yeah, the true crime stuff, like, I can't listen to those podcasts on true crime. I have when I'm listening to them, like, I can't help but being like, but what if the family is listening? And it's hard for me to kind of get around that. When I was younger, it was fine, but now I'm like, ugh. But have you read the Game of Thrones books before? Because I saw that you had mentioned that before. Did you read them already beforehand, or did you watch the show first? We're like, oh, I'd like to read the books, and then like, what was the order of operations for you? Yeah, it's fair. It's totally cool. I get it. I'll watch fake murder shows all day long. I've been rewatching Bones because it's on Disney Plus, so I've just been kind of watching that instead. I'm like, that's fine. I'll watch that. I didn't realize there are 12 seasons of Bones. 12. Which is crazy. So, like, I'm on season, like, 9 or something right now. It's, you can tell that they, like, lost, they lost some ideas along the way. It's quite funny. Uh, I know. I almost wonder if he missed his window to like release them where lots of people would read them. But because did I read them before? I think I had read a couple of the books before I started watching it. And like the first few seasons are just like sick. They're so good. Yeah. I think he's going to die before, as morbid as that is, I think he's probably going to die before he gets to finish them, which is just unfortunate and sad. But yeah, I love the first few seasons. That last, because the minute they started going off book, I was like, we'll see. And then the last season was like they were throwing in the towel. Like you could tell they were like, we don't care. We just want to be done with this now. Like I don't think the passion was there anymore for D&D, which is too bad. But anyways, it's fine. Like I don't know. I kind of want to rewatch it with just not watching the last season. Oh, yeah, Dream of Spring, definitely a long shot. For sure. Like, so much so, because I have my library behind me, I actually donated my books, because I'm just like, I don't want to look at them anymore. They just makes me sad. Yeah, I have to treat them like, they're two different, like, works of fiction, I think. Absolutely. Yeah, I donated them because we have I used to have just so many books, so many, but I would never reread them. I would just have them, and they just took up a lot of space, and I was like, you know what, someone else is going to enjoy these. And there's a couple of like leave a book take a book areas where I live, so I just went and I just filled them with like a bunch of books, and I just, yeah, someone else has them now. There is a series that is similar to Game of Thrones in the fact that the guy will probably never finish it, and it makes me incredibly sad. And it's one of my favorite books. Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely have to watch it then from the beginning, because then if you say that's more interesting, because at the end I was just like, there's like nothing placing anything any like from my memory of like her being crazy. Like if there's nothing there. Okay, interesting. My favorite is by a man named Patrick Rothfuss, and I'll just show them to you. They are my fave. The series is called The King Killer Chronicles. Okay. Oh yeah, I 100% agree with you. Okay, Patrick Rothfuss, Name of the Wind. It's from it, and so this is the second one. Name of the Wind. No, Wise Man's Fear is the first one. Hold on, I don't remember now. Hold on, I don't remember now which one's the first one. I haven't reread them in a while. Yeah, Name of the Wind, Wise Man's Fear. So, Name of the Wind is the first one. It's such an interesting universe that gets built in this. I think, I'm trying to remember how I got turned on to them. I think it was from my husband. I think it was like on a thread on Reddit somewhere of like, if you like magic and if you like good storytelling, and if there's even a wizard school in here, even though you don't spend a ton of time, the way that he tells a story, every time you reread it, something else comes out. It's awesome. And then the second one is called The Wise Man's Fear. However, there is a third book. The problem with this series, it is amazing. However, I don't know if you will ever finish it. So it's kind of one of those things of like, if you were to start, let's say, watching Firefly, okay? It's great, and then you realize there's only 12 episodes or 13 episodes, and you're like, it will never get finished. So while it's awesome, it's one of those things you have to go in knowing that it might never get done, and you just have to be okay with that. Yeah, pretty much. So they're awesome. I've reread them many times. Every time you read it, and especially if you read both of them and then you go back, you're like, oh my God, the thing that gets mentioned in the second book, it's bringing back the first one. I didn't even remember that happened. It's so good. So good. But the thing is, because the first two work so well together, I'm sure he's written and rewritten the third one so many times, because I'm sure he's trying to like build it into the universe and the whole thing, and it's just like, it's a lot of pressure, you know? Yeah. And it's been years. So I just try and take it with, these books are really good. I really like them. I highly recommend reading them. It's a fantasy book that I find doesn't go along with too many. It goes along with some tropes, but not a lot of tropes from fantasy worlds. Anyways. Yeah. No problem. My pleasure. I also just read a book called The Secret Life of Addie LaRue. That one is really interesting too. It was recommended to me on Book Talk, i.e. TikTok, but the book section of Book Talk. Book section of TikTok, rather. No problem. If you ever browse TikTok, I would check the hashtag Book Talk, and there are going to be some good recs in there. Good recommendations for sure. But I also know that not everyone ticks the talk, as it were. So you said you were reading Game of Thrones. What, like, have you read anything else, like, within the past couple of years, you're like, yo, this is amazing, I need to reread this? Is there anything else that you've had? I will gladly also take book recommendations. I have never read Stephen King. I've always heard about him, but I'm not a big fan of horror, and I just associate him with horror, so I don't know. You don't want to so you stop in the middle? Nice. I can deal with creepy. That's fine. Okay. But yeah, like, I don't want to read before going to bed and then give myself nightmares, which, you know, I will get. I will get nightmares, and I'd rather not have to. So that's cool. I will note that down. Oh, sweet. That's fun. I like that. The Secret Life of Addie LaRue is about a girl who makes a deal with the devil for an everlasting life. And that is all I will say. Because it is, like, there's a lot more to it, obviously, but it's kind of about that. All right. I'm going to note that down for sure. Yeah, it's an interesting plot for sure. And again, it's like, I won't go crazy into it because I don't want to ruin anything, but that's like the basicest, most basic TLDR. Young girl makes a deal with the devil for a life that never ends. But I love a good kind of historically somewhat like a book that talks about something that happened in history, even though it might not be like accurate to history. I kind of like that. I think those are fun. Cool. Yeah, you let me know if you ever get around to reading it. Like, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Oh, I got a follow. Thank you so much. Uh, Lismtig. Lismtig. I think at the end of this line, I'm going to start doing my ombre back to purple. Yeah. Give me more Rex. I'm in. Oh, okay, cool. Hi, Liz. Thank you. I'm doing a technique right now where it's gonna go into purple and then into black. So I'm gonna finish this line and then I'm gonna start switching my color slowly. Oh, I realized this guy is pointing very wrongly. All right, I'm gonna start with the purple again. Also, I'm glad that your name isn't Lismtig, because that's like very difficult for me to pronounce. So Liz is great. Thank you. Actually, I'll zoom in a little bit so you'll be able to see the color start changing, which is fun. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I ended up getting rid of a lot of books. I was just like, all they're doing is making me sad that I haven't read them. So someone else will appreciate them more than me, which is why I got rid of so many of mine. Like, I have one of those like big, those like square things from IKEA where it's like 4x4s or 5x5s. I have a big 5x5 that used to be packed with books. Yeah, I feel like it's like almost two different types of hobbies: buying books and then actually reading them. Streamlabs is like really intense about like saying welcome, guys. Oh, you know why? It got triggered because you said hi. That was why. Yeah, it was just that. That's why. I think my gingerbread man also probably said hi. Possibly. My little pet down there. But I wasn't looking at the screen, so it's possible he didn't. He might just be hanging out down there. I've never heard of that. What's like the TLDR? Give me like a one-line synopsis. Maybe like a 3-line. It was more of a you don't need to write a whole paragraph kind of thing. Liz, do you have a favorite type of book? Of the entire history of a family. Okay. Years Solitaire tells the story of the rise and full birth in the mythical town of. Okay. All right. Noted. I like that. It's fun. It's an interesting way to tell the history of something. It's through like the eyes of one family. Cool. Novels and autobiographies. Very cool. I don't know if you were here when I was recommending one of my favorite books, or actually probably the favorite book that I had. But it's by Patrick Rothfuss. It's the Kingkiller Chronicles series. The first book is called The Name of the Wind, and then the other one is The Wise Men's Fear. The Michelle Obama one. I'm trying to think if I've read that one. I don't remember. I don't think I've ever actually read an autobiography. Oh no, I'm lying. Which autobiography? I read the Jessica Simpson autobiography, like as light reading when COVID started, and I was fascinated. It was like really interesting. I never would have thought that Jessica Simpson would have been an interesting person to read. 100 Years of Solitude. Okay. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll actually put it on a post-it, which is the best way that I remember to put things down. I'll actually write it down. Terrible calligrapher. I never have pens on me that are regular pens. So Nielsen's my last name, so it's totally fine if you call me that. My first name is Erin, so you can also call me that. I will answer to both. Most of it comedians. Oh, okay. Cool. I think except for the Jessica Simpson one, which is an interesting read, like I said, I don't think I've ever actually read an autobiography. Yeah, because I was like, the Michelle Obama one. I mean, I know it was popular, but I don't think I picked it up. Yeah, it's definitely triggered. Sorry when you say hi. It's so funny. I'll try and fix my settings and see if I can do it if it only just says like, yeah, for Streamlabs. I'll try and fix it. I'll see. I don't know. I'm not that good with the whole like Streamlabs like vibe, so I'll poke around. Yeah, it's like, wow, hi. Because I know when I say hi, my little gingerbread man, he waves and he says hi, Nielsen letters. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, wow, it's moving. How great. Oh, I never really got into the audiobook thing, unfortunately, which I mean, I should, except for Harry Potter, read by Stephen Fry. Yeah, that's the thing, because like I would like to be able to listen to audiobooks while I work, but the problem is because with audiobooks, I'll want to write what they're saying, and I find it hard to concentrate on what I'm doing here. Yeah, yeah. So I usually just like listen to music. Or I'll put TV shows on that I've already seen, so it doesn't matter. No, it's fine. It's cool. Not a Harry Potter fan, it's fine. They came out exactly at my ages, more or less. And yeah, it was just like the perfect timing for me. Because I was 11 when I read the first book, and I read them as they came out. But it's okay. You don't have to be a Harry Potter fan. I won't be mad at you. I know the Harry Potter fandom can be kind of crazy toxic, so it's all good. I'm not the biggest fan of the films. They're like not great, in my opinion. They try their best, but eh. I'm not gonna lie. When I read the first book, because I was already 11, I was disappointed that I didn't get an owl. You're not missing much, honestly. The movies they're okay. They're okay. Yeah, Liz, I totally agree with you. Mostly books are absolutely better than the movies. All except for, I have to say, I've read the Jurassic Park book, and the movies are much better than the book. And I've heard that the movie Fight Club is first a book, and I've heard that the author of the book was like, because the movie changed the ending, from what I remember reading, and the author of the book the Fight Club book said that the ending in the movie was better, and he wished he had said the same thing. Yeah, the Jurassic Park book is okay, but the movie is like clearly superior. It's much more tight and more interesting. But and yeah, the Fight Club thing I haven't read, but that's what I heard from the author. Yeah, there's a lot of characters in Game of Thrones that they skip over, which makes sense. I mean, those books are huge. Mm-hmm. But I'm really intrigued to rewatch Game of Thrones now. So, Liz, I don't know if you were here listening, but what we were talking about before was rewatching Game of Thrones. Apparently, the whole Daenerys going mad thing is a little bit more obvious when you rewatch it, knowing how it ends. So, I will definitely have to rewatch, I think. Because I'm getting to the end of Bones. I'll have to put something else on that is long so I can avoid watching the news. Well, it's your turn not to be mad at me. I have never seen an episode of Doctor Who in my life. Yeah, that's what Alaska was saying. She was saying that if you rewatch it and if you know how it ends, that the Mad Queen thing is there. Yeah, fair enough. It used to be on Canadian Netflix, but they removed it a little while ago. I know of Doctor Who mostly because whenever I would go to Comic Con, I would see the Daleks everywhere, just like meh, meh, like driving around, and I picked up a little bit of that they exist, and that's from the Doctor Who universe. But I've never seen an episode. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch it now. And maybe I'll just skip the last season. Maybe I'll just pretend it didn't exist. Okay, you wrote that in all caps, so got it. Very enthusiastic about it. So I also know the Doctor changes, and I've heard that depending on which Doctor you start with, that'll be the one that is your favorite. So which Doctor, if I watch it, which Doctor should I start with? Season 1 of the new stuff. Okay. Which actor is that one that plays the Doctor? Yeah. Yeah. It's well, that one I won't have to write down because I know I've heard of Doctor Who, so that one I'll remember. Me and my husband have been watching Snowpiercer on Netflix, and it's been surprisingly good because I saw the movie when it came out a few years ago, and it had Chris Evans, I think, was the main character, if I remember the right Chris. One season with David Tennant. Okay, I love David Tennant. I've seen him in Jessica Jones. And I was like, oh, nice. And a lot of my friends were like, it's weird seeing him as a bad guy because he's Doctor Who, right? So it's so interesting. Jessica Jones is very good. In the last, there are certain episodes that you kind of lose it a little bit, but overall, I think it's really good. I really like the actress who plays her. I think she's really fun because she was also in Breaking Bad as Jesse's girlfriend, who was a bit of a drug addict. But if you haven't seen Snowpiercer, the movie is really good. And I'm pretty sure it's Chris Evans that plays the main character. But in the TV show, it's Daveed Diggs who's the main character, who is in the musical that was released on Disney Plus. Oh God, it's the one, the American History one. Now I'm losing my names. Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. Yes. Yes, her, that lady. I never watched that show, but I have heard of it. But if you watch the movie and you like the movie Snowpiercer, the show is like the movie, but like totally expanded, where you have like, you go into some interesting nuance with like character development, and it's very interesting. Right now they're on season 3, I think, of Snowpiercer on Netflix. I think I had seen it because I watched Philip DeFranco on YouTube, and I have a feeling he recommended it, and I was like, oh yeah, all right. And I think I think it came out on Netflix. I don't know if it's in Netflix US, but it was on Netflix Canada for a little while. You had a spreadsheet? Nice, nice. It's actually kind of funny. So I love rewatching things, mostly because I have the worst memory ever. I will remember at the end of the day if I liked something or if I didn't like something. However, will I remember the plot? Probably not. Will I remember the ending? Probably not, unless I've seen it a lot. Like, I have a terrible memory for those things. So it's kind of fun to rewatch things, because it's like, oh, it's kind of like I don't remember. Things are a surprise. My husband has a memory like a steel trap, and he remembers everything. So sometimes rewatching things with me, he just looks at me, he's like, you don't remember this? I'm like, no. Oh God. Okay, fair. I'm actually okay with the Game of Thrones stuff because I read the books too, though. So I have like the double memory of like, oh yeah, this happens and then this happens. And then this person dies. Right, cool. Red Wedding? Crazy. Yes, I'm very easily entertained, Liz. Absolutely. It's not expensive for me to watch stuff, because I'm just like, yeah, I just watch the same things over and over again. It's great. I have not seen Veep, but I have heard it's wonderful. I really like, oh God, the actress now, and I know that she's from Seinfeld now, and I'm losing her name too, but her, very great. Red Wedding made me, I think I actually cried watching the Red Wedding episode. Oh yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Thank you. Yes, her. She's great. Love her. That's definitely one of those ones where I'm like, eventually I'll get around to watching it for sure. Battle of the Bastards, so good. The Red Wedding is so good. Um, I like really anything with um, um, the tall female knight. I don't remember her name. I like her a lot. I like her kind of her like arc. Her and the way her and Jamie end though, it makes me so upset. That whole Jamie plotline, like he had such a good arc and then they ruined it. It makes me so, Brienne of Tarth, yeah, Brienne of Tarth, yes. Like he had such a good arc. It was so good, and they ruined it. And I'm like, no. And that's what I mean. Like they fully like threw in the towel on that last season. They're like, we just want to be done. I don't have time. Yeah, that's it. The execution of it was like rough. And there was a bunch of stuff that like never really got explained or really explored. If my memory is correct, because again, my memory is not the greatest when it comes to these things, of like the kids who get sacrificed, like you, that's not very well explored, in my opinion. I think what ended up happening is that the books were very subversive in the fact that like just because you were a main character didn't mean that you didn't have to die, which is unheard of on TV, right? But the minute you didn't have the books anymore to refer back to, at the end of the day, the guys who wrote the show, they're TV guys, right? So you're going to go back to what you know because that's not how you think. So I have a feeling that that also played into it. Plus, like, it was so big to, like, watch. Like, everyone was watching it. So talk about the pressure, right? Like, I kind of feel bad for them. But they totally threw in the towel. But hey, like I said, I think I will rewatch it. And I really like the more I say it, I'm like, yeah, no, I think that last season I'm just not going to watch. I'm going to pretend it didn't happen. Or I'll just make up my own ending. It'll be fine. Yeah, if they had the books, yeah. Something that me and my husband we've been doing actually, like every Friday or Saturday night, is we've been watching '90s rom coms. Like, cause I'll know them, but like he never really watched them, so it's been interesting like watching them with him. Some of them age not very well. Some of them age pretty well, actually. I have to say. Yeah, it literally could have been the most perfect show for sure. I 100% agree with you. I think he's been enjoying them. We watched 13 going on 30, which is quite fun. Um, some of the plot of it, like it's you know it's stereotypical, but it's Mark Ruffalo, which I had forgotten completely that he was the like the guy interest, right? I also love Jennifer Garner. I thought she was great in Alias back in the day. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo, so funny. He's super young. He's got to be, jeez, like 27, something like that. So we watched that one. We watched He's Just Not That Into You. That one was interesting. I refuse to watch Pretty Woman. I hate that movie. Winter. Oh yes, yep, yep. We watched. Well, we've kept up with it for sure. Super good. WandaVision was an interesting experiment. Falcon Winter Soldier feels like very Marvel. What do you think of it? Mm, I liked the ending. I thought it was really fun. It was very like back to Marvel basics kind of thing. After like the very interesting experiment of WandaVision, it brought it back into like the Marvel universe. I was a weeping, crying mess though during a lot of it, to be 100%. Oh God, him and the therapist, so funny. Did you watch the most recent one? Because I don't want to ruin anything unless you've seen it. Cool. So yeah, the therapist scene with the two of them with the therapist, I thought was so funny. The staring contest, I was dead. uh, like there are some good lines there too of like, it's one of the big three. Is it aliens, androids, or wizards? And it's like, it's not a wizard. What with Doctor Strange? And it's like, he's a sorcerer. It's like, sorcerer is a wizard without a hat. Also, how do you know Gandalf? Kind of thing. It's like, I read The Hobbit when it came out. So good. Oh yeah, Loki looks like it's gonna be so interesting. I'm just happy because what the thing is, so I also watched the Snyder cut of the Justice League. They so much better. I hated Justice League. Hated it. I hated it so much. I was like, this is so boring. I don't care. Whatever. The Snyder cut, wow. They did Cyborg so freaking dirty in the original one. Oh, if you saw the first Justice League and you were like meh on it, watch the Snyder cut if you can. No, like I used to watch some of the cartoons when growing up, but I only really know like Batman and Superman. That's like pretty much it. Oh, and like sorry, Batman, Superman, and Joker. Those are the three. I used to watch Smallville a lot, but and I only know of Wonder Woman because I watched the Wonder Woman movie. I should say. The Jared Leto one, I don't think I saw. I heard that it was really bad, so I didn't bother. But the Snyder cut is leaps and bounds better than the Joss Whedon one, the one that was a theatrical cut. It's released super interestingly too, because it's not in like a regular movie. It's like 4 hours long, but it's in 8 parts or 6 parts. Super interesting how it was done. But the happy kind of silver lining to COVID and stuff is that studios are much more willing, I should say, to release things for people to view at home and doing longer form content, which I appreciate. So you have the time to do more exploration of what's going on, which I appreciate. And especially if you can do kind of what they're doing with Disney and having like, you have the big Marvel movies, but then you have TV shows that kind of explore the characters a bit more. So I think it's so interesting that they can live in the same universe and like they're willing to put that on and put that out in for regular consumption. I think that's really, really interesting. I'm really interested to see how it all ends up panning out. Yeah, definitely. And like anyone can make anything right now too. Like I wouldn't have thought that I would have been doing anything live like last year. Are you kidding me? Or the year before? Why? Why would anyone want to watch me? I'm not that interesting. But, I'm here. I have time. If I can entertain people while I'm doing the thing, great. But like if nobody like me can do something, that means like maybe someone else can do something crazy. You can do whatever you want on your phone, right? Yeah, like COVID is tough. It's tough to find, like, because so many people had like such a hard time or are continuing to have a hard time. But I think that there are some interesting like consequences to COVID that might be like, yeah, exactly. I've met so many like fun people online, and like I've had more It's interesting. I was talking to my husband about this a little bit actually. Of I am an extrovert, but but the being at home kind of thing and not physically talking to people hasn't bothered me as much as I had assumed it would have. But that's because I'm still interacting with people. I just don't necessarily talk out loud to them. But like I'll, chit-chatting with DMs on Instagram, on here, I'll talk like to the camera, or to like if there are people in the chat, I will talk to you guys and that kind of thing. But I still have interaction, which not everyone has. So I think that that's been very helpful for a lot of people, I'm sure. I can't be unique in that. I'm not a special snowflake. Because I was really wondering too, I was like, I don't know if, like, am I okay? Am I mentally fine? It's like, and I feel like I'm okay. But I really realized, like, as long as I'm still interacting with people, I don't necessarily care about the medium of how one does. Yeah. I think we would be friends in real life, Alaska. I think so. Yeah. Thank you, Internet. Appreciate you. Thanks, Bill Gates. I, if this pandemic had happened 10, 15 years ago, I think I would be singing a different tune. I I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know. Yeah, my younger brother still in just finishing up school, and it's, I mean, it's very different than my experience when I was in university. Like the internet infrastructure wasn't even capable, I think, at that time. Like I don't even think so. When I was in, because I was in university about 10 years ago, give or take, and I'm like, I don't know how I even would have been able to take classes. It's like Moodle sucks, and it still sucks now, but you know what I mean? Yeah, taking like the rest for sure. I am happy though that I was already working from home when this started. Just personally speaking, I think if I would have gone, because I was working retail in the public for like 10 years, right? I think if I would have gone from that directly to home and didn't have this to do, I think I would have lost my mind. But because I was already working from home, I think it kind of worked in my favor. But yeah, like a lot of people just like, you just need to take a break. If you have kids, like take some time with your kids, take some time with your family, and like just chill. And it did, I think, give people an excuse to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be working 80 hours a week. Like if you have one of those like really high pressure jobs. Doing research. Oh my god. Actually, oh my god. Yes, agreed. With all the things on Google, all the things on like Skillshare, just I think is on YouTube. I don't know about where you guys are, but here with our library, I can connect to it virtually, and I can rent books, like digital books, that then get returned back at whatever time, like after 2 weeks. So, like, yeah, love that. That's great. It's amazing. Yeah, it's so cool. You have a certain amount of them, so you still sometimes have to be on like a waiting list. But yeah, like I can just sign in. It's like Libby, I think, is what the service that they use. But all the books are online, so I don't even have to go to the library, which is fantastic. You just have to have a library card. That's it. Or like I said, or like a Skillshare or like a YouTube. But yeah, totally right, Liz. Like education is so much easier online now. Amazon wasn't nearly as convenient. Oh. I'm not sure why Streamlabs did that. I'm telling you, Streamlabs is like very twitchy these days. Oh yeah, like I don't even know what would happen. Yeah, it's just doing its thing. It's fine. So I think that one is only supposed to trigger if there's a raid. So I don't understand what's happening. The only time I go to the store is to go get there's a local baker that I like to go get food from, clearly, because I've gotten a little extra chunky cheeks going on because of the pandemic, but it's fine. I will be kind to myself. Oh, okay. Wee! Thanks for hosting. Hello. It worked. I was like, I don't know what's happening. It's fine. All right, let's see how this puppy looks now that I'm mostly done. Can I get it all in one shot? Can I unzoom it enough that it's good enough? I think this turned out pretty good. I'll just wait for it to dry before I erase anything. Thank you for the compliment. And this is why I just looked at the time. It's been just over 2 hours, and I only did the inking. This is why I did the pencil stuff. Can't wait to show Haley. Oh my god, please don't. I will die. But this is why I did my pencil work before I went on stream, because especially if I'm talking, forget it. My stream's gonna be 5 hours long, and I don't have that kind of time. Love it. So cool. I think this turned out really well. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be like, pat myself on the back. Yeah, I believe you. I totally believe you. My teaching streams are actually, my one on Thursday was like super short. It wasn't even an hour, but I was also motivated to like be just very direct because I wanted to go outside for a walk. It was super nice and like nice weather. Like it wasn't just sunny. It was sunny, but also warm. I was like, I need vitamin D. Yeah. I mean, I do work, but I also talk at the same time. That's why I have my phone here. So when I am working, I can just flick my eyes up and I can see the chat going, at least. So I don't have to continuously look this way. But so fun. All right, I'll remove my light pad though. So you can see there's a little schmutz there. Right there. So I'm very good at multitasking. Nice. It's because I used to work at a store. I'm sure I used to multitask with clients all the time when I was doing stuff. So right there, I fucked up. However, it's a fairly easy fix. Oh god, yeah, reading directions and trying to chat, forget it. I would have zero luck. Nothing. Zero. None. But yeah, it's a pretty easy fix actually. There was a calligraphy teacher that I had. It was they made me laugh. They had a very strict calligraphy teacher, and they were like, this is something that I'm going to show you guys how to do, i.e. fix something like this, because my calligraphy teacher had said to me, if you can't fix your mistakes, you shouldn't be doing calligraphy, kind of thing. I'm like, cool, no pressure, fun. So yeah, it's dry. So what you have to do, like super intense. I was like, I don't really believe in that. Like you shouldn't be doing it unless you shouldn't be doing it unless you can fix it, kind of thing. So this should be easy enough to fix. So okay, so you take essentially an X-Acto knife, something sharp, somewhat sharp. I have one somewhere else too. You just go in and you lightly start to scratch where the mistake is. So this works. The paper that I'm using is not incredibly thick, so I have to be like very ginger with it. And then you take a, oh no, where's my kneaded eraser, which, here it is. So you take a kneaded eraser and you gently, you just kind of go back in and you scratch the paint off, especially so because the ink I was using wasn't actually ink, it was paint. It sits usually on top of the paper, so you can just kind of gently, I'm damaging the paper essentially because I'm removing like a top layer, but if you do it lightly enough, usually no one sees. The challenge then is, let's say I had messed up somewhere in the middle of the word. Let's say I made a mistake and I completely misspelled it, but everything else was done, which may or may not have happened to me before. Anyways, you can do this thing for an entire word. The challenge is then writing over it with ink again, because what happens is then you're removing kind of the top coat of the paper, so it's not smooth anymore. So what will happen is that the ink, let's just use my hands as I'm talking like I'm Italian or something. What you'll see is that the ink will bleed and your paper will like completely bleed through. That is where you're like, fuck, what do I do? You take gum arabic, or no, sorry, not gum arabic. Gum sandrack, this stuff. And you put a little bit and you rub it into the paper where you've like broken the like top layer, and it will reseal the paper lightly, and you'll be able to go back over it. It might not be exactly the same. If you have enough text, it will hide it well enough, but anyways, that's the thing. Gum sandrack. It helps. It helps. It helps. It's also something to be used when, because not all paper works well with ink or with paint, and it will bleed. So prepping a paper that's very thin, for example, with gum sandrack, you just put a little powder and you rub it on, and it will kind of absorb, and it keeps it. It's like, I want to say waterproof, but it's not waterproofing. I'm not exactly sure how it works. Yes, John Neal books. But it will like seal the paper, so you are able to use like an ink on it without it completely just like feathering and bleeding everywhere. But yeah, I don't exactly know how it works, but I know that it does. It's science. Yeah, science magic, something like that. But yeah, when you own Zoom now, or you zoom out rather, you don't see it. You see it when you look closely, obviously. Like if I were to do this. You can kind of see it, but from over here you don't anymore. It's really fun. But I think that this worked out really well, which is very exciting. And it is now 5:43 my time, which means it is now supper time. I am the hunger currently. So thank you for popping into my stream. No, I'm going to erase these. I do not leave the pencil marks. With this, to answer your question before I leave, with a soft, like a nice kneaded eraser, just nice and chill, and you just go through and you lightly remove the pencil marks. I just didn't want to do it quite yet because I'm not sure if the pens, like I don't know if this is dry enough. It's probably fine, but the worst thing that can happen is you work 2 hours on something and you're impatient and then you do it and it smears. And then you have to start over again. Ooh, excuse me. So either you use one of these or the like Stadler erasers. These ones are good because they don't tend to rip up the paper. I would still go really lightly, like I'm not going crazy like hard there. But with this, you don't get the foozles like you do here. So yeah, actually, before I leave, I'll show you something I was doing before. I've been trying to, so I was taking a watercolor class in which we are doing things, they're called acanthus leaves. And with the acanthus leaves, this is V complicated to try and make and build. As you can see from there you can see it in the camera. This is my first round. Yeah, it's V complicated. I was only using this. I had piles of eraser crumbs all over my desk. Like crazy. Oh, yeah. Very is too long for me to say. In any case, it's a watercolor florals class I've been taking, and my class was just yesterday. So she's like, "Let's do acanthus leaves," and I'm like, "Let me try." Yeah, so this, and then no eraser crumbs, which is why I like the kneaded erasers. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this project turns out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these after. I may put them into a book or something. Like I'll bind it myself somewhere. You do watercolor florals. Fun. Watercolor is fun. I only ever use watercolor as ink, so it's been an interesting challenge for me because I always make it too dark. I always put too much pigment because I'm used to using it as an ink. It's weird for me to not use it like that. Where is it? This was my homework from 2 weeks ago. It was fun. I just wrote notes for the feedback I got from my teacher. So, very cool. I liked the ranunculus. This one looks kind of meh, but hang it. It's homework and it's on ripped paper, but it's okay. Like I said, my next homework is going to be that freaking acanthus leaf. Thank you. The teacher, when she did her critique, which I totally agree with actually, was that it should just say "she is a flower," especially because the paper is kind of small and the text is kind of big. So it's a bit too tight. But if you just remove this and just did this part, it would have been better. And I'm like, you're totally right. Totally right. But yeah, super fun. Liz, if you have an Instagram, I'd love to follow your watercolor stuff if you post it. Because I'm like looking, my Instagram feed is like full of just calligraphy all the time. Yeah, like it would be here perhaps. Like it gets, because this was a different class I was taking than this one. So I shoved both of my homeworks together. I was like, let me see what this looks. Yeah, it's fine. Because this is called Mataraz. Because you can see, actually it's good. You can see the difference here to here. It's like a very different script. This is also much bigger, but Art MMMTG. MMTG. Post it. Where are you? Post it. Cool. I'm Nielsen Letters on all of the things, so you can totally follow me there. Yeah, I really like the words too. It's just a different... Yeah. Anyways, I will probably end up redoing this. It was just homework anyways, so maybe on bigger paper. We'll see. But yeah, like getting a wash, very hard. I really want it to be opaque. I'm used to ink, like not this. It's so different. All right. Now I really am going to go though. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you stay safe. I'll be back Thursday. for my teaching of calligraphy stuff. I think I'm gonna go into doing like copper plate, which is what this is, but some variations that you can do if you aren't always like a big fan of just doing it this way. This is my idea. So, see you Thursday, or if not, I'll be back on Monday. Monday and Thursday are the 2 days I stream. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Thanks again for coming by, hanging out with me. And yeah, I'll oh, actually here, I'll do it on this screen so you see my face. How beautiful. Bye guys.